nobody gonna perform for Donald Trump, huh? Which one of you jigaboo is gonna be the first one to do it? I'm waiting. I'm gonna roast one of you Uncle Tom for doing it. Which one of you gonna do it first?
The important thing is there's got to be a solution, because this has been going on in the industry for a whole years, for decades. And at the same time, you know, nobody wants this to be true, and it shouldn't have to be true. But if we don't fix it and do something about it, history will constantly
repeat itself. Now, Suge, you said something early on that I want to get clarification for the audience. Suge, you said early on, you can't just look at Diddy in isolation. You said this was done to him. He learned from others, and it was done to him, and then he did to others. To me, that sounds like what I hear when people are talking about situations, you know, hurt people, that someone was used, they wind up being a perpetrator. Is that what you're suggesting about Sean Combs, that he was used and he now uses?
Yeah, I think that's absolutely right. I think he beat what was done to him. And like I said, if you look at Russell Simmons, you know the truth. Andre Rail, you know the truth. Clyde Davis, you know the truth. Jimmy Iovine, you know the truth. So there's not certain things that all of a sudden you got this. The industry is a quick business. It's been like that for a long time. And the casting couch is real, but it's for women and men. But far from all that, I think the most important thing is I feel like they should let Puffy tell his truth. I'm quite sure he's going to expose a lot of people. I'm sure he's going to move forward with it. But I don't think it should be a situation like the Epstein thing where they found him hanging from the ceiling and dead before the truth come out.
Did Snoop Dogg really just expose himself out here? The streets are losing their minds right now because DL Hughley came out swinging, and he's not holding back one bit. The same Snoop who once clowned every black artist for performing at Donald Trump's 2017 inauguration just popped up at a Trump event himself, and fans are calling it the biggest flip-flop of the year. People are like, wait, didn't he drag Kanye for the same thing? Now everyone's side-eyeing the dog father like, what's really going on here? DL Hughley didn't mince words either. He's out here saying Snoop's playing both sides and finally showing his true colors. He's basically accusing him of chasing power, not principles. And online, the comments are going crazy. Some folks say Snoop sold out, while others think he's just playing chess in a dirty game. Either way, the timing couldn't be worse, because Snoop's name is already tangled up in the Diddy drama. Ever since the Diddy scandal started exploding, fans have been whispering that Snoop might be working with the feds and snitching to protect himself. People are digging up old interviews, cryptic lyrics, and shady photos, saying he's been a double agent in the industry for years. And the wildest theory? That Snoop had a hand in what really happened to Tupac. That's right, some fans are connecting dots that maybe shouldn't be connected. But the internet's not letting this one go. And now, Suge Knight, fresh out and ready to talk, is turning the heat all the way up. He's out here hinting that Snoop's been hiding major secrets for decades. Suge even dropped a bomb saying, when the truth comes out, a lot of people gonna look funny.
And I knew that Pac did everything right by him by putting him on All Eyes on Me, speaking about him and being real with him. And if it's true what they say,
this call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Face to face is gonna be a lot of explaining to do. Only way you have a radio if you was at the fight with us and you had a security detail. Now, not having a security detail, what are you doing with the radio?
That's not just a warning, that's a straight up threat. He's calling Snoop the real industry rat, accusing him of playing both sides while pretending to be loyal to death row. This whole thing is getting messier by the minute. But Suge didn't stop there. He went all in on Snoop, saying the rapper straight up lied about visiting Tupac in the hospital after the Vegas shooting. According to Suge, that visit never happened. He swears Snoop wasn't even around when Pac was fighting for his life. That's a serious accusation coming from someone who was right there when it all went down.
Nah, chill. I'm not performing. I am in Washington, D.C. right now, but I'm not performing. It's a private vibe I'm doing with my brother Snoop Dogg.
Now fans are left wondering, Was Snoop really that loyal friend he always claimed to be? Or just another smooth talker who switched sides when things got too hot? It's shaking up hip-hop history in a big way. And now the internet's spinning out. People are pulling clips, interviews, and old death row stories, trying to piece together what really went down between Snoop and Pac. Some say Snoop distanced himself right when things started getting dark, like he knew something was about to go left. Others think he's rewriting his past to look clean while Suga is calling him out for being fake. Whatever the truth is, it's got fans questioning everything they thought they knew about one of rap's biggest icons. Meanwhile, DL Hughley's still lighting up the timeline, dragging Snoop like he's never done before. He's saying Snoop flipped on everything he once stood for, and the crazy part? He's not lying. DL didn't even have to stretch the facts. He just said out loud what everyone's been whispering online. The same Snoop who blasted black artists for performing at Trump's 2017 inauguration just turned around and hit the stage at a Trump event himself. The comment section's on fire. People are calling it straight up hypocrisy.
But I am honored to be performing for the office, for the President of the United States. Regardless, ain't another president asked me to perform. Name.
1, 2, 3 into the 4. Snoop Doggy Dogg and Dr. Dre is at the dope, ready to make it.
DL even said Snoop's mask finally slipped, and it's looking like that might be true. Snoop's name has been in the mix for months now, and none of it looks clean. Ever since the Diddy scandal started bubbling, fans have been side-eyeing every move he makes. Whispers online claim he's playing both sides, smiling with the streets one day, sitting cozy with the feds the next. Some are convinced he's feeding info to protect certain people behind the scenes, and the biggest rumor of them all? That Snoop betrayed Tupac way back when, and that betrayal might be the key to everything coming out now. This whole situation's got the hip-hop world spinning in disbelief. And Suge Knight, oh, Suge is furious. Even from behind bars, this man's shaking the table like he never left the streets. He's not just throwing shade, he's dropping bombs that could flip the whole hip-hop timeline upside down. Suge has been calling Snoop out by name, saying he's the real industry rat who's been moving shady since the death row days. That's a bold claim, especially coming from the man who built death row from the ground up. Suge said, when the truth comes out, people gonna find out who was really loyal and who was just acting. That single line had social media exploding.
It amazes me that to convince black people that Donald Trump cares about them, he takes pictures with celebrities. It's amazing to me. If Donald Trump cared about black people, he wouldn't have denigrated the president with those claims of birtherism.
Man, you playing to win tonight, man. You sharp as a mosquito. What's going down? That's that crypto, see? They let a real crip up in the crypto ball. Bang, bang.
Fans flooded the comments with theories, screenshots, and old clips trying to decode what he meant. Some even think Suga's about to expose a truth nobody's ready to hear. But hold up, it gets even crazier. Suge went a step further and accused Snoop of flat out lying about visiting Tupac in the hospital after the Vegas shooting. According to Suge, that visit never happened. He's claiming Snoop made that story up just to keep his real one image intact after Pac's death. That's cold. Fans who grew up believing Pac and Snoop were like brothers are absolutely stunned. The internet's torn apart, half defending Snoop, saying Suga is just bitter and clout chasing, while the other half believes this might finally explain why Snoop's name always pops up when it comes to death row secrets. And now, that Trump performance, it just added gas to the fire. What Snoop probably thought was a simple paid gig turned into a full-blown PR disaster. DL Hughley's dragging made sure the whole thing went viral overnight. Old wounds are reopening, death row legends are getting pulled into the mix, and the culture's watching every move like hawks. It's not just about politics anymore. It's about loyalty, legacy, and who's really real in an industry built on smoke and mirrors. If this keeps spiraling the way it's going, we might be looking at the start of another major Snoop Dogg controversy explosion. DL Hughley didn't just talk, he came with receipts. He dug up that old 2017 clip where Snoop Dogg went off on black artists for performing at Donald Trump's inauguration. And let's just say, it aged like spoiled milk. In the clip, Snoop looked dead into the camera and said, "Which one of you Uncle Tom ninjas gonna do it?" Yeah, he really said that. Fast forward to 2025, and guess who's out here grinning on that same kind of stage, performing for the same man he once called out? Yep, Snoop himself. The irony is wild, and the internet's calling it straight up embarrassing. The second DL reposted that clip, social media lost its mind. The comments were pure chaos. People calling Snoop the biggest industry buster and saying everybody in Southern Cali knows he's the king of switching up. The memes, the tweets, the videos, non-stop. One person even wrote, "Man puffed his chest up, said yes sir," and started dancing for them like nothing ever happened. The shade was brutal. Fans couldn't believe how the same man who once prided himself on being real was now doing the exact thing he clowned others for. It's like Snoop forgot his own script, and DL's making sure nobody lets him live it down. And here's the thing, DL's always been like this. He's not new to calling out hypocrisy, especially when it comes to entertainers cozying up to power. Back in 2017, when Steve Harvey went up to Trump Tower to meet with Trump and Ben Carson, DL lost it. He jumped on social media and went off saying, "It amazes me that to convince black people Donald Trump cares about them, he takes pictures with celebrities." That line hit deep, and it still does. DL didn't hold back either. He dragged Trump for fueling racist birther lies about Obama and tearing the country apart with his division tactics. That's classic DL Hughley, sharp, unfiltered, and not afraid to speak truth to power. He's been consistent with his energy for years, never switching up just to fit in. Now that Snoop's getting caught in his own contradiction, DL's just sitting back, reposting the facts, and letting the receipts do all the talking. Fans are saying this might be the most real takedown we've seen in a long time. And honestly, DL didn't even have to say much. The proof's all right there in Snoop's own words. DL Hughley didn't just roast Snoop, he broke down the whole game. He reminded everyone that back in the day, he'd already questioned why Trump kept using rappers, comedians, and athletes as the face of the black community instead of real leaders and thinkers. He said, "You'd rather see us run the ball than run the country." That line hit deep, man. It was raw truth. People were nodding their heads like, finally, somebody said it. DL wasn't falling for the fake photo ops or the illusion of inclusion. He made it clear. He saw right through the PR stunts, and he wasn't going to stay quiet about it. And now, here we are in 2025, and it's like the whole story's looping back. Snoop, Nelly, and Rick Ross, 3 rap legends, all up on stage performing at a Trump event. The internet practically stopped breathing for a second. Folks were stunned. How did we go from never Trump to live at Trump's gala overnight? The same voices that once stood tall against that kind of move are now up there smiling for the cameras like it's just business as usual. Fans are calling it the biggest 180 the culture's seen in years. Everyone's asking one big question: what changed? Because from the outside looking in, that double standard looks loud and clear. But DL wasn't just tossing shade for the clicks. He was educating. He said flat out, it's all about power. According to him, Trump's team doesn't just pick any artist. They handpick who fits their image, who can draw attention without making the crowd feel uncomfortable. They wanted someone who wouldn't scare the white folks, DL said, and that line hit hard. He pulled the curtain back on how politics uses pop culture to look diverse without actually being inclusive. Then he hit even deeper with, "Some of us were in the house while most of us were in the fields." That quote went nuclear online. Memes, clips, debates, think pieces, everywhere. It sparked a whole cultural discussion about who's really standing for the people and who's just performing for approval. DL's words hit like a wake-up call, and people are now looking at Snoop, Nelly, and Ross like, yo, are you doing this for the bag or for the culture? Because one thing's for sure, DL Hughley's not afraid to call out the difference. DL didn't stop there. He said this whole event was one big flex for Trump. According to him, this wasn't about music, unity, or entertainment. It was about sending a message. DL said Trump wanted to prove that he could take one of the most recognizable black artists, someone who used to clown him on stage, and make him switch sides publicly. And who better than Snoop Dogg, the man who once called out Uncle Tom ninjas for doing the exact same thing? DL said, that's not just a performance, that's power. The way he framed it had people thinking, was Snoop really just performing, or was he being played? He even pointed out how Trump didn't reach out to the same faces he used before. No Waka Flocka, no Kodak Black, no Lil Pump. DL said those names already served their purpose. They were loud, wild, and unpredictable when Trump needed headlines back in the day, but now, they weren't moving the culture like they used to. So this time, DL said Trump wanted something with more weight, a big fish. He needed someone who would shake the internet and make people question everything, DL said. And he was right. It worked. Because the second Snoop stepped on that stage, the internet went nuclear. The memes, the tweets, the TikToks, everything was on fire. People were clowning, others were disappointed, and everyone had something to say. One viral comment hit like a punch. Like DMX said, they sold their souls to the devil, and the price was cheap. Another user added, after the Olympics, Snoop thought he was untouchable. He thought the love was unconditional. How wrong he was. That one got thousands of likes, with fans agreeing that fame can make even legends forget where they came from. But the wildest comment came from someone claiming insider knowledge. They said, Snoop's got to be the informant. That one line sent conspiracy threads spinning out of control. People started digging into old interviews, resurfacing Suge Knight's statements, and connecting dots like it was a crime board. Every new piece of gossip only made the story hotter. DL's theories hit a nerve because they weren't just about politics. They were about identity, loyalty, and how easily fame can shift the narrative. Whether people agree with him or not, one thing's for sure. DL's not afraid to call it like he sees it. And this time, his words might have sparked one of the biggest cultural debates of the year. Because if DL's right, then this wasn't just a performance, it was a calculated move that showed who really holds the power behind the scenes. Has anyone else peeped how much Snoop's suddenly popping up everywhere? It's wild. 1 minute he's in a cereal commercial, then he's pushing kitchen gadgets, now he's out here carrying the Olympic torch like nothing ever happened. Hollywood can't get enough of him, but people online are starting to connect the dots, saying the timing is way too perfect. Like, how does a man go from being dragged for performing at a Trump event to becoming the face of half the brands in America overnight? Something's not adding up. Fans are calling it out left and right, saying, come on now, let's talk about this gem. Because when you reach a certain level of money, it's like the rules don't apply anymore. You can make mistake after mistake, and people still find a way to excuse it. But let's get one thing straight. Money can't erase history. Once you do something that big in front of the world, it sticks. People might forgive, but they don't forget. And that's exactly what's happening here. That line, money can't erase history, hit fans right in the gut. Some say Snoop's reputation might be legendary, but this move left a permanent mark. One user posted, he's too comfortable playing both sides. It's giving fake energy. Another said, this man went from fight the power to performing for the same power structure he used to diss. Make it make sense. Even fans who grew up on his music are torn, saying they can't separate the art from the actions anymore. Meanwhile, DL Hughley's comments are still echoing all over social media. His breakdown about power and control got people rethinking the entire situation. He basically said Trump pulled off a boss move, making someone like Snoop, who used to roast him, take that stage. Fans are saying DL might have been on to something deeper, that this wasn't just about money or politics, but about influence. Like Trump wanted to show he could flip one of hip-hop's biggest icons just to prove a point. Now the internet's doing what it does best, digging deep. Old interviews, old lyrics, even old photos are being brought back up. Some users are drawing connections between Snoop's sudden mainstream glow-up and all these new business deals. One viral comment said, after that Olympic spotlight, Snoop thought he was untouchable. He really believed the love was unconditional. How wrong he was. Another person said, he's the ultimate industry survivor, but this time the streets aren't buying the act. The comment sections are wild right now. People are debating, arguing, and clowning all at once. Even industry insiders have started whispering that Snoop's doing major image control. They say the sudden brand deals, the commercials, and the wholesome projects are part of a massive PR sweep to clean up his name after all the backlash. But fans aren't fooled. They're saying no amount of sponsorships or smiles can erase that Trump stage moment. That performance is now cemented in the internet's memory, and it's not going anywhere anytime soon. So here's the real question. Did Snoop, Nelly, and Rick Ross just fumble the bag by stepping on that stage? Or are they just doing what every artist does, chasing the money and staying relevant in a game that doesn't forgive silence? Because this whole situation's got the culture divided. One side says it's just business, but the other side says it's betrayal at its finest. So what do you think? Is Snoop playing both teams and trying to keep everyone happy? Or is this just how Hollywood works? Smile for the cameras, cash the check, and keep it moving. Drop your thoughts in the comments because this one's got layers. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss what's next. Because the next video is about to dig even deeper into the Hollywood side of this mess, and trust me, it's gonna get way messier.